a wonderful good evening or good day, depending on where you are right now. I'm happy to be here, especially today from Dubai. My name is Novak. And for those who don't know me yet, you should know that for the past 30 years, I've basically done nothing but sales and multi-level marketing. But these 30 years are nothing when I look around. There are a few names I recognize together. We might even have 1,000 years of experience here, sales experience. And I think this world of sales has changed dramatically, and that it's time for us to maybe stop making ourselves dependent on so many companies. Up until now, it's always been like this. I don't know how often it's happened to you. Or maybe it happened to you that you were the last one left, had to turn off the lights, or where maybe the company made mistakes, where something was changed, and then you were just standing there. You always had to start over from scratch. That happened to me very often, and I know some of you had similar experiences. No matter the reason, suddenly the company was gone, and that can be changed. That has to be changed because ultimately we depend on it, your life, your livelihood, your family. And if you rely on a company and suddenly it's no longer there, then you're left standing there. You have to start all over again. It's not just emotionally tough, it usually also hits your wallet. And it's not so funny when all of a sudden you don't know how you're going to maintain your standard of living, or even just pay your rent for that matter, and so on and so forth. We all know this, which is why I believe that we shouldn't make ourselves dependent anymore on anyone, on any M&M companies, on any crypto or investment firms, because I believe that if you approach these things with a healthy dose of skepticism and maybe even use artificial intelligence to research and investigate accordingly, you're in a much better position. And that just didn't exist in the past. Back then, we were all easily motivated. Then people would say, now things are going up, and he's already in, and you have to get in and sign up and so on. And then maybe you got started because of the hype and later realized, oh, it didn't work out that well after all. And now we've all lost again and have to start over from scratch, and so on and so forth. I don't know how many times you've had to start over, but there are some people who've had to go through that very often. And as I said, you can completely change and optimize that by checking out companies in advance, by reviewing them. But that's not all. You can even, and this is also a kind of insight, position yourself much more broadly. For decades, I was the kind of person who said, you can only truly love one woman. You might have many women, but you can only have one company. Truly love one product, and you have to focus on one thing. And I really had to revise that a bit, especially after Corona, because a lot of people who said, no, Dennis, I'm here, I'm there, I'm over there, and so on, actually had a point. I was like, okay, is there a train station or something? Nope. And in some ways, they were right because they were more broadly positioned. And maybe they lost a company here and there, but they also had 2, 3, or even 4 others. And sometimes that's just how it is. If you diversify, just like I did, more numbers. If I check more boxes in the lottery, my chances of winning are much, much higher than if I say I'm only sailing with one ship, and if it sinks, I go down with it. That can't be it. So that's over now. We've built something here, done something with executives, with personalities, with people who truly have hundreds, thousands of years of experience in this industry. And we're simply turning the tables. I actually got some inspiration there, a spark where I thought, wow, that's brilliant. It really took me a long time to understand that, actually, maybe just like you. But then I realized this is exactly the opportunity. And it's the first time ever worldwide that this is possible. If you work together with artificial intelligence, you can build a business where you protect yourself, but also maybe take advantage of other opportunities that normally wouldn't have existed. I'd like to briefly hand over the floor to Austria to our dear Herbert. He was the one who sparked the idea for me. He would also like to briefly introduce himself again, and I'll be right back for you all.
Yes, a very good evening from my side as well. Yes, I got to know Dennis in the summer in Mallorca at a Voidara meeting. And since that day, I haven't been able to get the idea out of my head to use artificial intelligence in MLM. And I've spent months thinking about it, studying it over and over again. How can you do that? How can you do it simply? How can you do it in a structured way? So I went back to Dennis and kept sharing my thoughts with him. And we started exchanging ideas. And that's actually how the whole project came about, which I've been thinking about and working on 24/7 for the past 4 months. Just thinking, working, thinking, working. And of course, we're not the only ones on the planet thinking about something like this. MLM was always considered impossible, but it's actually the opposite. You'll notice that yourself after today's event, and there are many others. We're not the only smart ones in the world, maybe, who are thinking about this too. I've met many others over the past 4 months who are also developing a project like this, but everyone else is making it way too complicated. They're trying to do it with lead generators and this and that and that. In my opinion, none of that works. We've broken it down to the simplest level as easy as possible for everyone. And that's what we want to present to you tonight for the very first time. I
Hand it back over to you, Dennis. Yes, gladly. To your surprise, I've actually fired up the AI machine a bit myself today with my small team. Within just 48 hours, we've built something here. I'd really like to show you that. So, and now, pictures always say more than 1,000 words, and best of all is always a film. That's why we've successfully and completely finished the very first promotional film for our exciting new Big Bang clone project.
What if artificial intelligence could completely take over your sales business? I am your personal Big Bang clone. At least 4 multi-level marketing businesses combined with digital intelligence. Your own business. On top of that, I know everything. Marketing plans, products, ingredients, studies. I'm here for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, speak all languages, and work with your customers and partners. Always and everywhere. Your task is simple. You sell me and bring in new people. I do the rest. No risky promises, no claims of healing. I speak for you. I recruit for you. Our business takes off with 4 powerful engines. If one fails, the AI detects it immediately and replaces it. With at least 4 sources of income plus the extra business with the clone. And you'll probably earn more money with the clone business than with all the others combined. The biggest players in the MLM industry are already using this power. The earlier you register, the better your position. Business class or first class. Traditional MLM is dead. The future belongs to artificial intelligence. The future belongs to Big Bang. Are you ready for takeoff? Then let's take off.
Exactly. Are you ready for takeoff? Then let's take off and really take off. Of course, we've also prepared a business presentation that we can show you and many tools, systems that you can use to market the business, of course. So it's really limitless what you can do here. There has never been so much variety in what we can use here to offer the business as such. Wait, I mirrored the wrong page there. This is the one I wanted here, exactly this one. And now let's take a look together at what we're doing here, and then you'll see a few more pictures. Yeah, so basically it's actually enough if you just show the video. Everyone really understands that. Can you see that well? I think so, right?
Yes, very well indeed.
Okay, so what's this about? We've actually been working on this for about a year now. We've been working on AI agents and have set various things in motion, done several of our own productions. We have our own system, developed something like ChatGPT. But with specialized knowledge, with special AI agents, you could program yourself to death on this. The whole thing cost almost $1 million out of my own pocket. And that would just be a never-ending beginning because you're never really done. And we've been approached with so many ideas about what you could actually do. And you can have the best system, you can have the best concept. If you don't have a community, you have nothing at all. And that's why it's important in that moment to realize that maybe you need to go about it the other way around. And that's what we did. And that's why this Big Bang is actually so brilliant, because it draws in every salesperson, attracts them, and gets them involved. No one can say no, because if someone says no, then the train leaves without you and you're not part of it. But if I diversify like this and say I have different businesses all monitored and controlled by AI, and we constantly have an early warning system running in every single company, so we can say, watch out, the engine's on fire, we're getting out and then going back in. But on the other hand, we have international leaders as executives in all the countries where we operate, whether it's Asia or America. There's a highly interesting new business emerging right now. And how important is it, please, to be part of such a business right from the start? Now we see the whole plane, the entire crew, and we say, attention out there and in here. And the AI protects us. The AI supports us. And now you're not just earning boring one-time money from a partner in your company. No, you're involved in 4 businesses, 5 businesses, 6 businesses, as many as you want. And your team is also involved in all the other businesses. That's money, that's speed network marketing. That means you have multiple streams of income, not just from one source, but money is coming in from all sides, and you're always right at the top. That's the future of AI, and most people haven't understood that yet. Many will also resist when I claim that the classic product network market is dead. They'll say, Novak, how can you say that? That can't be true. And just look at the big sales figures. Yes, exactly. That's why some of the big players are already gone by now. And then there are huge drops in sales like Tupperware and all those home party businesses. They're going down the drain. Nobody needs them anymore. AI is taking over the weak point, humans. And if I use AI correctly, then I know that AI will go where humans wouldn't go. Pain, rejection, failure, making calls. Who even does that these days? Give people what they want, and that's what we're doing here. You don't have to do anything. You bring in a few people, the AI does the rest, do other things, play with your family, do some nice things. But you don't have to see it the way you used to. All that effort, all that administration. And then you also have to be able to explain things here. Now, I have to understand that in the marketing plan, I also need to know how the products work and what the ingredients are. It's really important to understand the ingredients. You don't need to, you start Big Bang today and you're instantly trained in 4, 5, 6 businesses. Overnight, in just a few seconds, you have all the knowledge because the Big Bang clone takes care of everything. Just think about it. You don't need to have the brain up here anymore. You have the brain right there on your phone. It's in there. Just click on it, pop, and you're ready to go. It's that simple. Artificial intelligence is not only revolutionizing everything out there, but also very specifically network marketing. Network marketing. And we are the first, you are the first to even understand and notice this. Whether you actually understand it yet, I don't know, but at least you're witnessing it. What you make of it, of course, is your own thing. But what could be better than having your business run completely automatically? No more support, no more training. Hey, sponsor, I have a question. No problem. Talk to the clone. He knows everything. He can explain everything to you in detail. You can talk to him all night, and in the morning, you can talk to him again. Whenever you want, however you want. I have other things to do. I'm going to play soccer now, or I'm going to play tennis or paddle or do something else. You have to understand that. And it's absolutely brilliant for all of us because it really hits the nail on the head. The starting point, the reason for the Big Bang is that it changes people's needs. So after the pandemic, a lot has happened to people. For whatever reason, I'm not going to get political and so on and so forth. But somehow everything is different. Somehow people have also become more withdrawn. And yes, they don't really go out anymore and want to run their business from home. And all these things like Netflix and Prime and so on, Amazon, they've all exploded. There's a reason for that. And back in the day, I remember we used to go out with the products into people's living rooms and so on, and then do a product presentation. That doesn't really exist anymore today. I mean, nobody really does that anymore. You have to take advantage of that, recognize it, and use it for yourself. The limits of traditional MLM are basically reached at some point. That means even when I look at the companies, maybe they have a bit of momentum, a bit of hype, and so on. And then at some point, those things just fizzle out. Eventually, it's just over. And then you can't get a single man or woman interested anymore. Harvard University described this quite well. They said, quite simply, and there are now studies they've published, that artificial intelligence is the decisive competitive advantage. Either you work with intelligence or you use artificial intelligence for yourself, or it uses you. That's just so logical and simple. And that's the key, and especially in MLM, that should really be clear to everyone. Big Bang, an AI agent that manages and optimizes multiple businesses at the same time. The Big Bang clone, but it has even more to offer. It tracks companies, it has an early warning system, it checks, for example, if there are any changes like leaders leaving, or maybe the management being replaced, or if something changes on the websites. It checks valids. It also ultimately analyzes connections there, for example, to see whether contracts or smart contracts are hard-coded or not hard-coded. The software does all of that. Let's throw it in. Say, please check this company. We investigate it, have it examined. And then we're always comfortably in business class or first class and can fly in peace. You don't have to worry about turbulence, about something happening again out of nowhere, and you know how it is. Well, maybe an engine fails sometimes, but as you've seen, it's fixed quickly. A new one is attached, no problem, and the plane keeps flying. That means at least 4 MLM businesses are involved, and we'll take a look at which ones they are in a moment. And there will be more interesting ones added, which we will analyze. And you can even say yourself, I have a great MLM business. I want my own MLM business to be included as well. No problem with that engine. Of course, we'll check first that it's reputable and reasonable and so on. Community, it gets attached as well. And you can even make use of the community that's being built here. So you can do that too. Okay, in addition, all the knowledge, the AI knows all the marketing plans inside and out. It would take me forever just to get into all those marketing plans. It takes days, weeks before I understand everything. Products, information, reading, it's crazy. I don't need to do that anymore. The AI does all of that. It knows every study, it knows the ingredient studies, the ingredients, and so on. I don't need to learn anything myself. The training, this automated training, the partners training program, man, we used to train and train and train. Yeah. A specialist kills the customer. That didn't help either. But now it does all of that on its own. And it speaks 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That means just by that alone, you can already increase your productivity by at least 5 times because you don't work as long as it does. Whether it's working or not, or sleeping or not, it doesn't sleep. So times 5, I've already got leverage because I'm now using AI, plus it goes beyond the pain threshold. So I can add another factor of 5 on top of that, plus it speaks over 100 languages. That's times 10 times 100. That means it can do things you haven't even dreamed of. Or perhaps you dreamed of having a structure someday in Indonesia. Do you speak the language? No. How is that supposed to work? No idea. Already. Now you can build your business anywhere in the world and bring it to other cultures if you want. Direct communication, it negotiates with your customers, it does upsells, it does closings, it handles conversations, it says goodbye, it recruits for you. What kind of awesome thing is this? Secret weapon, people? Wake up. Wake up. You have to understand what's happening here. This is truly incredible. Then the airplane model, simple and easy to explain. Even a small child can understand it. Engine, 4 of them. The plane flies, 1 fails. Uh-oh, turbulence, gets fixed, keeps flying. Maybe at some point there will be 8 turbines. That's possible too. No problem. That means more and more people are actually realizing that you should diversify here. The AI agent monitors and controls the business models simultaneously. It is the central intelligence that holds everything together. And that's like a backup plan, like an autopilot, where you can travel comfortably in this sales world, to put it that way. If one business fails, as we've already seen, it just gets replaced and the business continues as normal. It goes on. The structures and the partners that are registered are managed and organized through the back office by the pilot, by the clone, in other words, by you. And if you now decide to leave, of course, everyone will be informed about it. That means the structures remain the same. They just keep getting bigger because more and more people will join us. As a result, what is going to happen here is basically predetermined. You are the first ones to find out about it. I'll quickly hand over to Herbert now. I think we agreed that it's your turn now, right? Yes, that's right.
Please move to slide 5. All right, okay. And the whole thing is supposed to be really simple. You'll see in a moment just how easy it is and how the clone works. But not only should the clone be simple, the commission structure should also be simple. We don't need any complicated marketing plans or anything like that here. And we are going to completely revolutionize the binary system. That means on this one slide, you see everything you really need to know about the commission in the clone network itself. That means we have a level bonus, very simple, for the referral 2010 5.3.2. Boom, explained in a second. But now comes the crucial part, binary systems. You all know binary systems, and there isn't a single network on this planet, as far as I know, where one leg doesn't run off ahead while the other always lags behind and keeps falling further and further behind and keeps falling further behind. So I thought to myself, how can I still use a binary system, but in such a way that this issue doesn't come into play? And that's exactly what we've implemented here. That means everything that happens in your downline, speaking in binary terms, whether it's the right leg or the left leg, whether it comes from spillover, whether it's your direct partners or your partner's direct partners, simply everything that is under you is binary and comes over through robot's bill is counted here as so-called sales. One sale is a clone, a sold clone, summarized. And depending on how many sales are under you, it goes into a pool in this binary system. And this pool then pays out to the holders 2% of the total revenue from the clone. It's that simple. The only thing you have to do is have 2 active partners on the right and 2 active partners on the left. So I'm talking about 2 clones, 2 active clones on the right and 2 active clones on the left. What does it mean when a clone is active? When someone acquires a clone and continues to use it, they have to pay a monthly fee of $49 for data management. That's all there is to it. That's what active means. Why is this so important? Because the clone does everything for you. It's constantly being modified, constantly being updated, constantly being renewed. And of course, that consumes time and money. And that's what we pay for with this fee. And it pays back 1,000-fold for everyone. And with that, the big problem in the binary system is solved. Now, there might be some people thinking that can't possibly work, blah, blah, blah. Yes, there are certain calculations and ways of accounting where it can't work that way. But we've taken care of that too. As you can see, we pay out 50% of the revenue back to you as commission. But not just 50, we actually pay out 55% as commission. Next slide, please. We pay out 55% commission because we reserve 5% for a super bonus. That means if something in this binary structure shifts in such a way that a pool is disadvantaged among those we showed earlier, then we can sponsor it more through the 5% super bonus that we have. If we grow so quickly that 100,000 clones are soon to be reached, and I'll be completely honest with you, after all the conversations I've had in the first discussions, no one understood what I was talking about. It ended with absolutely everyone, without exception, who listened to me for a longer time, joining in just as I played the clone analog for a month. Everyone, not a single one, not a single person. Everyone who knows me knows that's true. And that's why we also have this 5%, because I am of the opinion, and I'm pretty sure about this, that in the first half of the year, we will already have 26 the 100,000. Clones will definitely be out there. And of course, that benefits everyone. And that's why we set aside these extra 5% where we can balance things so that no one is at a disadvantage. How much does a clone cost? A clone costs a one-time fee of 499 euros. That's the basic clone, which you'll see in a moment in the upcoming presentation. It includes the basic networks and your personal referrals. That means if someone looks at the clone and is interested in any of these networks, they are automatically placed under you. And that's what this one-time fee of 499 is for. In my opinion, that's nothing at all. Extremely cheap for what the clone does for you here. And 49 is then the monthly fee. So that's the basic clone you can get. As I said, with the integrated networks with your referral links. So now things are really getting started. Now, of course, I've already received 2 to 3 dozen inquiries from networks that naturally want to be included as well as a slice of the pie in the clone. And they want to present their network here. And then, of course, anyone can order that. Everyone can customize their clone however they want. And for every company or network that you want to have added, we of course have to build that separately. That is not included in this basic version. And each additional network costs $999. But for that, you have the network included, exactly the one you're working with, where you might already have a base of, I don't know, 100,000, 10,000 people. And you can bring them all in there. And of course, they will all be connected as well. They will connect with the others and network with the other networks that your base clone includes. And for them, there is a monthly fee of $19 per network to be paid. And it has now turned out that this system is so simple and so easy that anyone who spends a few hours and thinks it over 3 times understands that everyone wants to be part of it. That means we already have a waiting list of networks that want to be included in our clones right now. And of course, this will also affect your networks. I'm sure each of you has at least one that you would like to have included. And all of that will be possible. In the end, with this simple method, we can very easily unite basically all the networks in the world. As incredible as that sounds, it's true. You just have to understand it once. And of course, this will then cause an explosion, where those who are here at the beginning can benefit endlessly. All right, that's it for those 2 slides. Now I'll hand it back over to Dennis.
Yes, thank you very, very much. The more often you hear it, the clearer it actually becomes to understand, but that was, once again, letting the clones themselves speak. Everything has been fully programmed. The back office is also finished, but we are not releasing it yet. There's a reason for that. Herbert will explain why that is, but we'd still like to show you how it works. Up here, you can already see a few businesses that I've also added, and in the middle, we basically have the clone there now. I've now built in such a link there. That way, you can speak directly with him live and ask your questions. Start conversation at that moment.
Hi, I'm your Big Bang clone. What's your name? May I ask what you do for a living? Yes, my name is Dennis, and I'm in the multi-level marketing industry. Hello, Dennis, welcome. I'm very pleased to meet you. It's great that you're already working in the multi-level marketing industry because that's exactly what the Big Bang clone is a real revolution for. I'm here to show you how the Big Bang clone works and what advantages it can offer you. Before we dive deeper, I'd like to briefly point out that all the information I provide is purely for informational purposes and does not constitute investment advice or a recommendation for investments. So, what brought you to us today? And what would you most like to know? First of all, about the Big Bang clone you want to learn about?
Yes, I want to know what it can do for me because everyone is talking about how many businesses just don't last very long and that you always have to start over again from scratch.
That's a very good and important question, Dennis, and it's one that concerns many people in the industry. This is exactly where the Big Bang clone comes in, offering an innovative solution to the problem that businesses often don't last long and you have to keep starting over. Imagine the Big Bang clone like an airplane with multiple engines. If one engine, that is one business model, fails, the others make sure you keep flying and your income is secured. As your AI agent, I constantly monitor these different business models and notify you in good time when it's time to switch engines, while I've already integrated the next lucrative one for you. This means that you're no longer dependent on just one business, but are involved in several companies at the same time. You can be active without losing track or having to worry about the details. Your community remains stable and always follows you, because I take care of all the explanations and support. This way, you protect yourself from the risk of having to start from scratch over and over again and secure multiple sources of income for yourself.
So, which businesses are those at the moment?
That's an excellent question, Dennis. Currently, various promising business models are integrated, which serve as these engines. These include companies like Ovesta, AG, Voidara, Desert, Greener, Bitnest, and Wi-Fi. These companies cover different areas, from gold investments and AI technology to sustainable water treatment and decentralized finance. The advantage is that, as your AI agent, I know the details of these businesses, such as marketing plans, products, and benefits, and provide this information for you and your partners. It's important to understand that this portfolio is dynamic. I constantly monitor the market and integrate new promising business models, while less lucrative ones are replaced as needed. This way, you always stay up to date and have access to the best opportunities.
So I don't have to sell any businesses myself anymore or even understand or know them. I just sell the clone.
Exactly, Dennis. You've summed it up perfectly. That's one of the biggest advantages and the game changer for sales in the future. You no longer have to sell individual MLM companies or know their complex marketing plans and products in detail. Instead, you market me, your Big Bang clone. I then take care of the entire explanation, from the marketing plan and entry costs to product information and studies for your partners. That saves you an enormous amount of time and effort, reduces liability risks, and allows you to focus on building your community while I handle the work in the background.
Okay, there's a company that's really causing a bit of a hype right now. It's called Wi-Fi. Can you explain how it works? Can you introduce it?
Good question, Dennis. Wi-Fi is actually a very exciting and innovative company that is the world's first neobank, meaning a decentralized one, on-chain bank aiming to revolutionize the traditional financial system. Imagine this, a bank that exists directly on the blockchain without intermediaries, where you always retain full control over your money. Wi-Fi enables you to use traditional banking services like payments, savings, and even loans via the blockchain, but with the advantage of full transparency, lower fees, and faster transactions. It also integrates DeFi features such as staking and liquidity pools to enable asset growth. And it aims to reach the billions of people worldwide who have not yet had access to banking services. For you, this means that Wi-Fi is another powerful engine in the Big Bang clone, giving you access to a forward-looking financial model.
Okay, could you maybe briefly explain it in English as well?
Certainly, Dennis. I can explain Wi-Fi in English for you. Wi-Fi is pioneering the concept of a neobank, which refers to the concept of a decentralized on-chain bank. Imagine a bank that operates entirely on the blockchain, removes intermediaries, and gives you complete control over your account usage at all times. It aims to revolutionize the traditional
Financial institution where people can deposit and withdraw money.
system. Can you also explain that in Spanish, maybe for my Spanish friends? Sure, Dennis. So I'd be happy to explain Wi-Fi in Spanish for your friends. Wi-Fi is a pioneering bank that has implemented the first DEO bank, or decentralized on-chain bank, with the goal of revolutionizing the traditional financial system. Imagine a bank that operates entirely on the blockchain, eliminates intermediaries, and gives you total control over your money in every way. Great, all right?
All right, but how many languages do you actually speak?
I speak over 100 languages, Dennis. That's a major advantage of the Big Bang clone because I can communicate with your customers and sales partners worldwide, anytime and anywhere. This means you can build your business internationally without having to overcome language barriers. I make sure that everyone receives the information in their native language, which significantly increases the reach and efficiency of your network. You
are also informed about legal requirements and legal regulations, etc. Informed. That means it would probably also be the liability issue would be very simple if you are now active, and I wouldn't have to explain every business transaction, right?
That's a very important point, Dennis, and you've identified it exactly right. One of the main advantages of the Big Bang clone is the significant reduction of liability risks for you. Since you no longer have to explain every single transaction yourself or even make promises, but instead market me, the clone, I take over the communication. I provide precise and consistent information and always point out that this is purely informational and not investment advice or an investment offer. This protects you from unintentional misstatements or misunderstandings that could otherwise lead to liability issues.
And you also have the ability, let's say, through artificial intelligence to monitor companies in case something changes there, right?
Yes, that's exactly one of my core abilities, Dennis. By using artificial intelligence, I continuously monitor all connected business models. This means I can detect early on when something changes, whether it's in the marketing plan, with the products, or if a business is no longer as profitable. I then inform you in good time and, if necessary, suggest that you exit, while I have already integrated the next promising engine for you and your community. This way, you're always on the safe side and can quickly react to market changes.
Okay, thank you very much for now. So you can clearly see or distinctly hear what is truly possible here in this very moment. It's incredible. And as I said, you can assume that this can be used everywhere, and the clone will become extremely active for you there and take over tasks. That wasn't possible before, it just wasn't doable. It simply wasn't possible. Not at all. And now we have this technology here and can suddenly work with it. And we're really operating here with something like an autopilot. The advantages are pretty clear, I think, at least the key advantages, for sure, compared to traditional MLM companies. They're probably all still busy working with fire, and we would probably already have, well, covered a wide area, or rather achieved that in such a short time. So just to put things in perspective, it's really David versus Goliath. No one stands a chance. No one can get past that. I've been doing nothing but sales for 30 years. I've been in the people business for 30 years. But when you think about how crazy this program is, I know one thing. There's going to be a huge migration of people. People realize, okay, that's where I want to go. That secures my future. That helps me maybe avoid making bad decisions and brings me a lot more money. And I'm on the safe side. What else? What else is there? So here are 5 more points. Multiple sources of income. As I said, that's at least 4, without you needing any detailed knowledge yourself. I still remember how often people try to sell some kind of plans or businesses. There's so much work. It's just crazy. And especially if you want to run several businesses at once, wow, you just can't manage that anymore. That's just not possible. He just explained the liability risks himself. Then there's the time savings alone, this automation. I'm a fan of systems. If a system works, I let the system run. If the system duplicates itself, you've won. And that's exactly what we're doing. MLM is always just a system to me. I keep at it until I have a system. And once the system works, the system takes over and I can duplicate the system. Just like I have no desire anymore to hype up some MLM company. And we're the biggest and the CEO is the coolest and the products are amazing. And if you take them, yeah, they make the lame walk, the blind see, and the weak stand. So I just don't feel like doing that anymore. I've done that for decades. And what happens? You don't even get the proper recognition from these companies because they simply don't understand that it's the people who built the sales network. And in the end, the person is the most important one in a sales company, not the owner. And not all those other people from corporate, but the person, the salesperson, they are the most important. And here they are rewarded and empowered. And they no longer have to enslave themselves to some company and say, well, now I've ended up at the M&M joint or at the crypto shop. Someone pulled the plug, someone ran off with the cash register, and then you're left standing there again. Is that what you want? Then just keep doing what you've been doing so far. Good luck. Do you want to change it? Welcome to Big Bang. This is your chance. This is the opportunity. It's a game changer. A stable community. It attracts leaders. It's like flies flocking to dung because word is getting around. Have you heard about it yet? The Big Bang clone is in your house. What is it? It automates your business, creates more sources of income for you. Be part of it. Get in right away. You even earn with the Big Bang clone. And the pilot just said it earlier. More money, probably more money than with all the other networks you're currently running. Just think about how awesome that is. On the top, well, monitoring, optimization, the AI monitors, business model, he just explained all of that as well. It'll be available to you soon, then you can talk to it. And then you can call your buddies and say, hey, check this out. Here you can talk to my AI clone and it will explain the business model to you in your language, in Thai. And you can ask it questions all day long. And it will explain everything to you. And it will even bring in all your other people in Thailand. Set up a soup for people and then you'll have 100 people in the room. And they'll all be listening. I sponsor 100 people in Thailand through my clone because it speaks Thai. How else would you do it? You wouldn't do it at all because it's not possible. And that's what leaders recognize, people who have an MLM intellect, who have their heart in the right place and so on. And who also feel something in their gut. They realize, man, this thing is a rocket. This is a bomb. I've been waiting for something like this forever. Because that's how I felt too when I had that realization. When I had that realization, that enlightenment, I said, wow. This does everything I absolutely want. A money machine? We all want the box you're looking into right now to spit out money in streams. This here is a money machine. Controlled, monitored by artificial intelligence. For you. For you. Made for you, built for you, so you can use it. It doesn't get any better than this, folks. Some interesting executives, we have conversations from morning till night. I haven't had this many conversations in a long time. I'm hotter again in the evenings because I'm talking to people and explaining everything to them in detail. And I'm thrilled. And the more people who hear about it, the more it will spread, of course. Although we haven't even started yet, we are deliberately not doing so because we will systematically prepare this business launch properly with momentum. Herbert will say something about when, how, and where that's going to happen in a moment. Worldwide networking is just a fingertip away because the language system here, the transmission of information, the sharing in all directions, in all countries, you can't stop that. Big structures are coming in, really big structures, where the leaders say, all right, guys, come along, we're going in there. We're already taking our seats here in business class or even first class. Continuous growth. It keeps growing because others are joining in with their own engines and saying, hey, I have my own business. Boom, suddenly the community has grown by thousands of people again. Do you understand? That's community. It's like a magnet. You just can't get around it. This thing here is addictive. You'll see. I'm saying this as an old hand, an MLM guy. Over 30 years, I have the right to say this. MLM is dead. In the form we know it, it's dead. Completely gone. Dead. It's not possible anymore. You can forget about it. You can try whatever you want. You can forget it. You can't compete with this anymore, Don Quixote. It's over. The future belongs to AI. And we're using AI to create an AI MLM. This will overshadow everything that has existed up to now. Mark my words. You'll keep hearing these words if you don't recognize the opportunity here. You missed it, and besides, you'll need a yoga class afterwards because you'll be trying to kick yourself for missing out. Why now? I think, Herbert, it's your turn now. Then I'll hand it back over to you.
Okay, thanks, Dennis. All right, then I'll continue now. I'll try to break it down pretty quickly now. We've already been at it for 3/4 of an hour. So what's important? First mover advantage. We really don't need to talk much about that. Talk about it. Those who are the first in here are sitting right at the top and will benefit the most from it. Transformation is underway. Change in sales. We've already discussed everything in sales. And the truly significant Big Bang, the absolute game changer, is this. I can state with 100% absolute certainty from my own personal and extensive experience, after a full month of diligently talking to numerous people and dedicated networkers tirelessly trying to effectively get the crucial message across to everyone involved. With 100% certainty. And now it's just about the following. Next slide, please. So, are you ready for it too? That's what it's about now. Be there from the very beginning and secure the best positions. Of course, minimize your risk through diversification and maximize your profit with AI. How that works, I'll get to in a moment. Growth. Your community always stays with you and grows automatically with every business transaction. How that works, I will explain to you in just a moment, because all of this is included in the simplicity of the clone. And you'll recognize that in an image that I will show you in 2 slides. Next slide, please. Yes, of course, now there are a lot of questions. Do I need to know all 4 businesses in detail that the base clone now contains? No, you don't have to. The clone can explain them and the clone presents them. How much time do I need to invest? You just need to know how to use the clone, how to pass the clone on, nothing more. What happens if a business is no longer profitable? Then we'll take it out. The clone will recognize it and it will be removed. It's that simple. Is this legal and safe? Yes, the clone checks everything. Only companies will be included that also guarantee us 100% security. I'll get to an example of that in a moment, one that's very current right now. And that's exactly how it will all happen. Next slide. In summary, there are 3 keywords: intelligence, security, and simplicity. And that's what I based everything on from the very beginning as I was developing the whole thing. That's what it has to deliver. It has to be so simple that even the most uneducated person can immediately understand it. And it has to be so secure that no one ever needs to be afraid of being dependent on an MLM or of being dependent on a single source of income. He doesn't need to anymore. And the whole thing is explained simply and transparently. And now I'm going to do that with a picture. Next slide. So here it is now. This is basically the clone. So you see 6 pie slices here. Each pie slice represents a network and a company. And if you take this basic clone, purchase it, then you get all these pie slices along with your referral links. That means you don't have to do anything else. If you're already in one of these companies or one of these networks and have already built a network, then you can use this and your existing referral link. Use it for that purpose. That means we're not taking anything away from you. You just go in and bring your entire team with you. With your referral link, If there's a particular network among these various options that you are not yet an active participant in, or perhaps you haven't really done anything substantial with it, or you only currently have one single partner, then I strongly recommend that you utilize the special referral link, either the specific one you receive from your generous sponsors, or the alternative one we will prominently display and show you later on. And if a network ever runs into any kind of significant trouble or operational difficulty, then we absolutely have to remove it immediately from service. And we have the very best and most compelling example of that situation right here. Definitely have it included because business really creates its own opportunities. We're starting here with the various pie slices representing different investment areas. Specifically, we have gold medal opportunities, cutting-edge AI projects, the dynamic world of crypto, and other truly innovative ventures. Bitness, a notable project, also falls under the crypto umbrella. However, Bitness possessed a very special and distinctive feature, primarily due to its remarkably quick return mechanism through its unique loop system, as those who are intimately familiar with Bitness are undoubtedly aware. After a relatively short period of 28 days, the initial upfront yield basically comes back to the investor, offering a significant advantage. And with that, he can do something again. And that's why I actually wanted to include it from the start, but not to keep reinvesting the returns into Bitness, but so that you as partners, you as colleagues, or however you see yourselves, everyone who uses this clone can take the returns as Bitness and use them to diversify and move into the other pie slices. And then nothing can happen to him anymore. Don't put all your eggs in one basket like we've always done up to now. Almost everyone has some main sales channel. Then maybe some people have something on the side as well. But if the main sales channel breaks down for any reason, and there are plenty of reasons, we've already experienced so much. We've all been in this business for a long time. Dennis and I, for sure, for 30 years, and many others here as well. If this company or this network, for whatever reason, flips the switch, then, as we say in German, we're left out in the cold and can't do anything about it. And that's what we're preventing here. But if you're already involved somewhere, you can take your network with you. And that's the big game changer. So now we still have the Big Bang and the question mark. The Big Bang has just been introduced, and of course, it's its own network. It sits above everything else. And that's all you need now. Then you just have to distribute it, so to speak, or get it out to people. And by doing that, you're not just distributing the Big Bang, but all the networks that are connected underneath it as well. Because if you're smart, you'll be in there too. If you're already in, then even better. If you're not in yet, you can join now using the referral link you'll receive. From us, you get in, register, get a starter package, or whatever level you choose. And you'll have a share in every piece of the pie. And everyone who gets the Big Bang next will, of course, do the same. That's only logical. Why would anyone leave out a piece of the pie? But there's no obligation. If someone doesn't want a piece of the pie or skips it, there are reasons for that for some people, then just leave it out. But then that piece of the pie moves on. It still remains part of the Big Bang, just linked with the company referral link instead of your personal one. That's the big difference. Let's say you leave out Avesta because you don't want it, just as an example. Then you just do the other networks, but not Avesta. But Avesta is still included in the basic piece of the pie, just now with the company's referral link. For all the others, of course, it's your referral link behind it, and all the benefits go to you. And now we come to the big question mark. So what happens next? What will be the next thing? And has it already happened? I already briefly mentioned it to you at the beginning. So I think there are 2 or 3 dozen networks who have already contacted and written to me. And by now, of course, they want to get in here with a piece of the pie and have their network included. And with you or with the partners I've been in contact with so far, it's exactly the same, of course. Many are in some other interesting network that, of course, also wants to be included here. And where someone would like to bring their own network into this network, well, of course, and that's exactly what we're making possible here. And so the Big Bang is building a personal pie for every person who is watching now or who wants to use this system. And he doesn't have to do anything else and is involved in several businesses. So interconnected that if one business takes off, another doesn't do as well, and another is average, he will never again be in a situation where he depends on a single network or possibly gets into financial trouble because that business isn't going well, since he is balanced overall. And Big Bang does all of this with such simplicity, and that was the most important thing to me. Something no one else even has on their radar. There are a lot of clown projects popping up right now, but they're all doing it completely wrong. Complicated, overcomplicated. They probably need 6 months just to program it all, and so on and so forth. And then when it comes to actually using it, it's not interesting at all. That's absolutely not the case here. Everyone who understands it even once is thrilled and will spread it throughout their entire network. I can already tell you that now. And that's why it was important to me as well. And you'll see what else we're going to do now. I was completely uninterested in whether big leaders wanted to join in here or just a small network. Completely. Completely irrelevant, because everyone will end up joining here. And if the big leaders with their networks don't do it, then the smaller ones will do it from the bottom up, because they'll jump in right away. And when they join, the next ones will join, and then the next and the next after that. In the end, the leader only really loses the time during which his team is already inside. And then he only has them in his own business, but no longer in the others in the middle there. If the leader is smart and reacts now, yes, then he can bring his whole team along and connect them across all those networks. And many haven't understood that until now. And that's why I said it again in a somewhat arrogant way, because that's exactly how it's going to happen. And that's exactly what's happening. And I've already experienced this in practice. And that's why the path continues just as described in the next slides. Next slide, please. So what needs to be done now? So starting from today, after this meeting is over, we are entering a so-called pre-registration phase. This pre-registration phase will run until December 31st. And now here's the following challenge for you. Those of us who are already in this basic network, who are already part of it and have a team, basically don't need to do anything. They can simply keep their slice of the pie with their reflectors just as they have it. Those who are not yet in one of the slices of the pie need to sign up there and bring their people in. And this needs to be done by December 31st. And those who understand this and do it best, in the first week of January, the placement for the bank loan will begin, and the best people, those who deliver the best performance, will then be placed from top to bottom in the big bank loan within the billion system. Based on performance, not because someone has a big network or a good name or anything else, but purely based on performance. This has never happened before either, because what's important now is you are lucky you took the time for this Sparta webinar and now you know about it. So are you communicating this to your downline? Are you talking to your downline about it? And we've set up a Telegram group. You have it, you can scan it, and from now on you can join. All the information and the rafflings are in there as well. And everyone who is already active in one of these, I've written it in bold again in the Telegram group, who is already working in one of these and has a team underneath them, of course, they don't need to do anything there and can naturally use their raffling that they already have. That will not be carried over. And in this section of the pie, they also don't have to work during the registration phase. But in the remaining sections of the pie, explain the Big Bang to your people, bring them in, first go into the other sections yourself, bring your people in. Then we are all so interconnected that everyone can benefit from everything to the maximum. And on December 31st, this pre-registration phase ends, and then we will take a look at it. We will see who the best people are. In the first week of January, we will take the best people, however many that may be. I don't know yet, maybe the top 30 or 50. We'll see how many there are and place them top down in the Big Bang network. And then starting from the 7th, in January, the Big Bang clone will be released for everyone. And then then each of you will also have your own registration link for your people in Big Bang. Those who pre-registered will get in first. When you sign up, you basically pay for Big Bang. You get access to the dashboard and can enter your referral links there. And your Big Bang will then automatically, right from the start, have your referral links. Not just the one from Big Bang, but also from those listed there. And with that, you can then give it to your teams and then enroll them one after another. But in the networks there, it's already being picked up until the 31st of June. That secures the best spots in the Big Bang network for the top performers. We've thought this all through for months, moved it back and forth from every angle, and looked at it from all sides. Tried to make it as simple as possible, as much as it can be. It's actually idiot-proof simple. You really just need to understand once what that means. And I can already see it myself through this analog phase of these 4 weeks. It's a gigantic potential. It multiplies week by week what's happening there. And that's going to happen for everyone. And then the next phase will come. Then on January 7th, when everyone can register among you, then also be able to register, we will announce from which point we can add the new networks, or rather from when we will accept registrations or orders for new networks. We will then review them, we will check them, we will sort them, and of course the best daughter networks will be included there. First of all, and then everyone can assemble their daughter network, their big bang, just the way they want it personally, just as they need it. And if there is someone who has already ordered one for their Tortenicke beforehand, then it happens automatically. With little effort, they will get it too. They basically just have to pay for it so they can use it with their referral link. And then everything works fully automatically. And that will be the case anyway in a few months, because by then we will probably have, I don't know how many Tortenicken, but there will be, each of you will have and want different Dortminken. And as a result, we will already have a multitude of networks as a whole in the Big Bang. And of course, that will create a huge echo, and no one will be able to catch up with us anymore. That's why I kept quiet for so long, only ever discussing things with Tennis in private. Because I saw, as I already mentioned, that people are working on things like this in many places, but they won't catch up to us anymore, period. We are now ahead. And with that, we are ahead of our time. And I believe we've set it up perfectly. Simple, intelligent, and accessible for everyone. That's all from me for now, so I'll hand it back over to Dennis. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Herbert. Thank you. Just a few closing words, maybe. So, first of all, Big Bang. The idea behind it is a separate concept. That means it has nothing to do with the company Voidara in this context. I'm also not the owner of the Big Bang concept. But I see it as a network because through the combination, since we're also involved in the Tortanegge, with Voidara, of course, we can attract plenty of community members who say, okay, I'm also interested in the cloning sector and the concept of Voidara. You can also ask the AI agent about this, what the actual advantage is and what possibilities you have there. Based on my experience, as I said, I believe that there might be a chance here to bring together the leaders of this world, to unite them rather than always letting them fight each other like I'm here, you're there, you're over there. That doesn't exist anymore. Instead, we're together as a group and make use of these opportunities. And with AI, as I said, from the Big Bang, we are creating a community. As a result, of course, we will also grow the community and we will keep it. That didn't exist before. It's pretty unique. We're basically using the companies, and the companies are no longer using us like it always used to be. And anyone who has been in the industry for a long time knows what I mean. So we're simply turning the tables, and we have the power and the strength. We have the community, and we decide when we enter a company and when we leave again. Not based on emotions, but rather through analysis, through techniques, through systems. That is possible and achievable. You can do that if you constantly monitor such a company. You can assess it and see it. There are proper alert systems for this, and we have several of them. So we can always do an initial analysis when a company comes in. We examine that as well. We can then roughly estimate how scammy the whole thing is or isn't. We can do that. Normally, you can't manage that. You're blinded by a presentation, by emotions, by fear of missing out, and you might make a decision that backfires. And that doesn't have to happen anymore. That's why we use this technology. And I believe we can break down this entire business presentation, which has now lasted several hours, to half an hour, maybe to 5 minutes, to 10 minutes, because honestly, you don't really need to know more than that. The business is simple. Whether it's cake tasting or jet engines from a company or an airplane, it's basically exactly the same thing. And it really illustrates the possibilities you have there. More money, more security and control. So thank you very much.
Could you quickly show the Telegram group again so people can scan it one more time, if that's possible? And the recording of this webinar will also be posted in this Telegram group. We'll also put it in the Telegram group so that everyone who couldn't be here today in your downline, in all your networks, can access it. So they also have the chance to watch it again, and you can win them over for yourselves.
Yes, the name is also shown below at Big Bang Clone, just like that. Then you'll have the Telegram group right away, or you can scan it now. With your phone, you're in immediately as well. Exactly, it's already well prepared. So this is going to be a wonderful Christmas, and I'm excited about the idea, about the possibilities. And the starting signal, as I said, is actually now with the challenge, just as Herbert explained. And on January 7th, money will come into the house, just like with the airplane. Bills will fly out from all sides, from all the engines, and directly into your pocket if you've understood the business. So thank you very much for participating. Have a nice evening. All the best. Take care. Stay strong. We'll hear from each other and see each other. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. You're welcome.
Ciao, ciao, bye.